Here's a couple articles that have been written about me that came out back in 2022. I was recently featured on an Ancient Aliens episode, which if you guys want to scan that, it pulls up a clip from that, or you can look up Ancient Aliens on YouTube. It was really cool because Ancient Aliens covers a lot of like the ancient stuff, but for this episode, they wanted to focus on people who are making contact now. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's time because they're here, you guys. So I think that was really awesome that they wanted to share that in an episode. Here are a few of my space photography photos. So we have the Andromeda galaxy up there. We have the Pleiades star cluster. And I took these photos before I knew that I'd had connections with the Pleiades and the Andromeda galaxy. So it's funny how the universe works. And the Milky Way there's me with a telescope. So I took all of these photographs, and this is what I was doing. I lived a pretty normal life. I was a nutritionist, had a dietetics degree, and was teaching health and nutrition classes. During lockdowns, everything was basically, locked down. So I really dived into space photography and fell in love with it. And then some interesting things started to happen. So I had my first UFO encounter November 17th, 2020, and this was an extremely close UFO encounter. I went outside in the middle of the night to look up at the sky, and I met eyes with a bright hovering craft that was hovering in a circular motion. And then I started getting this strange sensation, like it felt like static all around me. And I could hear a pin drop. Everything was so quiet. And I looked up and a second craft had appeared that looks very similar to this. It was a diamond-shaped craft, much closer. This was only a few houses down from me. And very close. I was basically just looking up at it like this. And it went, I thought in my head, like, am I really seeing this? Because I had never seen anything like that before. And it seemed to react to my thoughts. It moved up, down, side to side very quickly. And then it started coming straight to me. And then it vanished right above my head. And so that was my first, I guess, initiation. That was like a, hey, we're here, how you doing? And that like shifted my whole paradigm. And things really took off from that point forward. Now, what I've come to find is a lot of the time, we're kind of like these secret agents, the starseeds. A lot of us, some of us are awakened since birth, but a lot of the time there's kind of a predetermined contract, a soul contract to be for some sort of a catalyst to wake you up. And this is exactly what that was for me. My second encounter happened in January. They gave me about 2 months to integrate that experience, and I went to an astronomy park. I've got like a cool little graphic, so I'll play it. I went to an astronomy park by myself. Yeah, I've been having fun with the little graphics. It'd be cool. These experiences should become a movie. Like so many of us are having so many crazy experiences that there needs to be like a series or something. So I went to an astronomy park by myself to shoot astrophotography, and this is when I had my second encounter. And this encounter was really crazy because, again, around the same time, I thought that was a one and done. Like I saw this crazy UFO. Okay, we're not alone, and I wasn't expecting to see them again, but it did. It opened my mind. Like there's no going back after you experience something like that. And so I was sitting in the car by myself, and I'm surrounded by cornfields. This is in rural Missouri. And suddenly I get that feeling again, like kind of a staticky feeling and like I'm being watched or that I'm not alone. And I looked outside of my window and I see a hovering light. It kind of looked like a bumblebee, the way it was moving, and it was going back and forth. I look to my left, there's a light there. I look behind me, there's two lights behind me, and then I look in front of me and there's lights in front of me. Not too far in front of me either, just kind of in this little brush of trees. And I'm like, holy crap, I'm surrounded by UFOs. So what I did, I was curious and I just started documenting them with my camera. And I literally ended up staying there. I was trying to wait them out because I didn't know if they knew that I was there or not. So I was kind of being sneaky because my car was off. I was literally the only person around. So I was just kind of like watching them and recording them. Little did I know, later I would find that they knew that I was there and they were there for me. And the whole time they were like activating me. The whole time. So I just tried capturing footage of them, and I stayed there until the sun started to come up. And they started acting weirder when the sun started to come up. Like the later it got, the weirder they acted. Like some of these were plasma orbs. There were plasma orbs that, besides the 5 lights that were surrounding me over the tree line and in the trees and everything, then a group of orbs came. I do have some other footage of this. It's on my TikTok. I think it was on the Ancient Aliens episode as well. But this group of orbs came into the field right next to me, and this is ground level with me. And I literally caught on camera one of these orbs, plasma balls of light, splitting into 2. Pretty, and I'm like, that's weird. That's pretty weird. So, yeah, that was my second encounter. I do have one clip from that encounter. This was the craft that was right in front of me. So here's a still shot of the video, but I'll show the videos right there. The still shot, it actually emitted a beam of light, which is pretty crazy. So I'll show you the little clip here. And that was ground level in front of me, you guys. Yeah, they were showing off for the camera. That's what they were doing. Yeah, straight up beam of light. Pretty amazing. Cass, I gotta show you this light beam real quick. I'll replay it for you. So this was the craft that was right in front of me. I'll just play it one more time. It emits a beam of light. I mean, I was tripping out. I was just sitting there tripping out. What's that? Yeah. 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 Yeah, so that would actually come a little bit. So this was my second encounter. I went back up there the next night. Let's see, do I have anything else on that? No. I went back the next night to see if they would show up again, and sure enough, they did. And I have footage of this as well, where you had 2 lights come out over the tree line, and they were going back and forth. So I'm like, wow, okay. And then at this point, I'm like, okay, there's something going on. So I became like an investigator overnight. And then the third night, because nobody believed me the first time, I'm like, I need to show, somebody needs to witness this. So I brought an astrophotography friend with me, but they didn't show up. But he's like, he told me, he's like, I definitely feel we're being watched. And I was upset that they didn't show up. I didn't understand at the time that it's frequency specific, and it's for certain people. Some people aren't supposed to see them, or they're not ready yet. But I went to go grab something out of my car, and when I did, a light flew past my face. And I heard in my head and felt, but we're here. But it was just for me. It wasn't for them to see. So then that's when, and that night, that exact night, when I went home, still upset that they didn't show up, so that somebody else could see this, so I'm not crazy. But when I pulled up to my house, and at this point, like the sun's about to come up, there was a light outside of my house waiting for me. So, at that point, I'm like, okay, they're intelligent. They know where I live. They're trying to talk to me. They're trying to communicate with me. And they were letting me know that even though they didn't appear in front of him, like they were still there. And I felt a deep soul calling, like I wasn't afraid. The first time kind of freaked me out. But after that, I wasn't afraid. Like I really just, I felt, I don't know, it was hard to explain. It was hard to explain. But I felt like they were trying to communicate. Now, this experience was awesome because this happened in April. So a few months after that experience, I met somebody who was of a frequency match. So somebody reached out to me and they're like, oh, I have a friend who has seen UFOs. I'm like, please give me his number. Because I wasn't in the community. I didn't know that there was a community. I'm like, I'm seeing all these UFOs and I don't know what's happening. And I even contacted MUFON and they're like, your case is very abnormal, because I had seen, I had 13 encounters within a 2-week period. So there was definitely something more going on there. But in April with this encounter, so this is a photograph that I took of a golden plasma ship that appeared. But I met with this person who had seen UFOs before, and they were spiritually awakened. They did meditation and all things like that. I actually learned a lot from this person. So I asked him, first night meeting him, I'm like, do you want to go make contact with UFOs? And he was a little skeptical at first because it was cloudy. It was actually raining, so there's all clouds back there. But within 5 minutes of getting out of the car, this golden ship appeared. And it was incredible. I got a bunch of photographs of it. Here's one photograph. There's one zoomed in. And he said, well, let's close our eyes and see if, because I was trying to talk to it. I didn't know how to talk really necessarily. I was just trying to talk to it, and then it would kind of move around. And he said, well, why don't we close our eyes and see if we can get any information that way? And I was like, okay, I'll try that. And as soon as I did, I received a very vivid vision. First, and this was telepathic, this was telepathy in a visual format. They were projecting this to me. The first one was an image of light going to the top of a head. Later, I would discover that was depicting a download, a transfer of information. The next thing they showed me were the beings who were on this craft and who were controlling this craft. So this is the first time I got to see the UFOs, or the extraterrestrials who were showing up. And this is a depiction of the woman that I saw. I saw her and about 5 crewmates were standing behind her. They all had light blue skin and no hair, and they had skin-tight silver uniforms on. I would later find out that they were from the Andromeda constellation. And after I saw this woman for the first time, then I started hearing her in my head, like contact really accelerated. And I started experiencing more telepathy. And her name is Talia. So then at that point, I'm like, this is the most amazing thing ever. You know, I'm a very curious mind. I just wanted to see, you know, what was going on. So I started going out with my camera every single day to basically invite them in and capture evidence of them. Because at that time, I needed the evidence. You know, at first you really need the physical evidence, and then you kind of, I don't know if I'd say graduate, but it evolves, and then you don't need the physical evidence as much. But that was a really big part of it. So this was an experience where I called a ship in, and I sat in front of the camera. I set up a time lapse, so I was taking a photograph every second or every other second, and I just asked them to appear, and I began kind of like meditating, and this ship appeared. So here's a close-up of it. There it is up there. It appeared in 3 different photos, and it looks different in each photo. The first photo, it looks more like kind of like a blob. Then this is the second photo, and then the third photo, it looked even more solid. So it looked different in each photo. It's kind of like morphing, and then it disappeared. And a MUFON investigator actually investigated this footage and said that he found a time anomaly. He found a 7-year gap in the middle of the time lapse. And he had 3 separate remote viewers remote view this experience, and all 3 of them mentioned time travel and seeing a wormhole. Pretty interesting, huh? So these craft are actually time travel machines. A lot of these beings are from different time periods. I'm hearing Lyra. We got some really strong Lyran energy in here right now. And the beings that I showed, they originate from Vega in the Lyra constellation, and they migrated to Andromeda later.